Mrs. Green Apple, we are back with the absolutely chart-topping, super popular Japanese band who, I must admit, as I've been getting into them, I feel have been kind of justifying their success in a lot of ways. Now, we're always honest on this channel. I'll tell you which songs I prefer, which songs maybe don't feel quite as inspired to me, but I will say that overall, I just genuinely feel this band has been, well, making good on all the promise and the fact that everywhere you go here in Japan, you keep on seeing their pictures. They are very popular. So I am here to check out the song Wanted, but before I get into this, and yes, by the way, I did pick it because it's kind of from that era of the songs that seem to be most appealing to me. I should say probably about 6 years ago, but yeah, 6 to 8 years. Anyway, what I wanted to ask you guys, I am going to, at some point, because I've been checking out so many singles, I am going to jump in and do a track-by-track review of one of Mrs. Green Apple's albums. You might notice if you watch this channel, for other videos that I've done that with other artists as well. Sometimes if I just genuinely find an artist really interesting, I'm going to want to go beyond the singles. And yeah, a lot of people talk about live, but to me, the album is where you really get to see what the band have in the rest of their creative output. You know, the stuff that they did that wasn't singles, where maybe they felt the freedom to go a little bit more experimental, or maybe the areas where they weren't at their top game, but just, and sometimes the little hidden treasures that maybe weren't radio friendly enough, but really got the diehard fans super excited. So guys, if there is an album that you want me to check out, get in the comments and let me know. Obviously, probably a lot of people are going to say different albums, so I can't listen to them all immediately, but hey, if it goes well, I might start listening to more of them. They've probably, I don't even know how many albums they've got. They've probably got a lot. They've been around for a while. But yeah, I feel like at some point I'll jump in and hey, give it a few years. Maybe we'll get through every single one of them. But I want to try and consider doing my first album review, track by track, of a Mrs. Green Apple album. So let me know where you want me to dive in with that. But today we're going to be diving in with Wanted, and the curious case of whatever is going on with this punctuation. Fair enough. What are we getting from me? Fair enough. Okay. Maybe we'll find out. Anyway, let's go. 4 minutes. Let's jump in. Miss Green Apple, there's not much I can say that I haven't already said. If you've been following the reviews, that's great. If you haven't, go check them out. You can go to my YouTube channel, video tab, and just like search for Mrs. Green Apple and you'll see all my reactions up until this point. Let's dive in. That does look comfy. It's much more comfy than my chair. But she looks sad. Why are you so sad? Where is the music? You missed the music too. Oh. Ambience is dying down. Oh, that's cool. It's got a bit of edge to it. That kind of synth bass sound is a rather interesting change for them. You're in. There's similarities in the the melody structure to them, but yeah, the sound is very different. This is definitely like your. This is a catchy dance pop song. I'm loving that slide bass sound. Alright, how EDM are we really going to get in this bridge? Are we just going mid-late or are we going to really go crazy? I think it's going to be mid-late, isn't it? Yeah. Get back to the chorus, eh? When you got a good chorus, you got to get back to it quick. I don't have a glow stick on me. My glow stick's up there, tied to the handle. Sorry. Synth violin out of nowhere. Okay, this one. We're going crazy. I love him for putting that in. I love him for putting that in. Yeah, that just added a bunch of points to the song for me. Liking that walking up on the bass there. That's a nice little way to crescendo the song. Get a lot of this aren't we? Yeah, okay. Does she finally look happy? Kinda. Don't go into the light. It's a trick. Anyway, okay. Okay, this is actually, do you know what? Sometimes when you've been reviewing a band over quite a few songs, you start to pick up the pattern, you start to pick up what they sound like, and the biggest concern is when you get to reviewing the band too much and you start to think, oh, am I going to start coming across similar points, and I'm going to have less and less to talk about in my reviews as I get more and more familiar with them and each song starts to follow more of a pattern. I would say though, that's one of the other reasons why I like this so much. This is definitely a sign that this is a band who do have some variation in their catalogue, especially as this song came out back in the day when obviously they, assuming it was still a 5-piece at this point, still have the drummer was in there, and keyboards. Yeah, there was 5 of them. Can't remember what everyone does. Anyway, it was interesting because this is definitely coming out with a little bit of an EDM club vibe to it. I will say, as a general, that has some positive and negative sides to it, but if you accept that that's what it was aiming to do, then this song 100% nailed it. I do think it's a bit of a shame that obviously when you get like a more EDM club song, it loses some of the little finesse in the rhythm section that is often the thing that I love so much about Mrs. Green Apple songs. We're not getting quite as much of the sort of crazy intricate bass lines and drum lines in this, but the reason why that doesn't bother me and the reason why I'm totally okay with that in this song is because of the fact that it is variation to what we hear in their other songs. Variation is important. Just because you have intricate and detailed songs that, doesn't mean every single song has to be like that. You can have a song which is just straight down the line, just goes for it and just has a strong club energy. And that's kind of what this has. It still managed to sneak in some intricacies, so I'll get onto in a minute. But as a general, this song, if I'd heard this and this was the first ever Mrs. Green Apple song I heard, I'd maybe be thinking, cool, nice. But I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm so aware of why this group is beloved. I would just be like, interesting, let's hear a bit more. I think there's a little bit, actually the first song that I did actually review on this channel, it wasn't the first song I'd ever heard by them, knowingly, but the first song I reviewed actually was at the time the most recent single, which was Breakfast. And I remember saying at the time, it's like, okay, this is good, but it's cool, but it doesn't totally get me to the place of, oh, why they're so great. And kind of like a similar vibe with Wanted. On its own, it wouldn't totally explain why they're so great, but when you put it alongside all of the really awesome songs they've done that are full of intricacy and detail, this is a song that is this is a good demonstration that they can, relax, let down their proverbial hair, although he seems to have much less hair in this video, and as a result, do something which is just straight and direct, and it works. It is catchy, it is fun, it will get stuck in your head, and the other thing as well, that little weird what the fuck was going on Irish jig bit in the middle, that sold me. It's like, at that point you had like a little breakdown. It went back to the out of tune. It went back to that bit, And I was like, oh, okay, it was just a mid late. They're going to just go, kill a few bars and then go straight back into the chorus again. But then they just suddenly went left field, and we just we were just going off in some other random direction with this. I mean, we've gone from a club song, which is all 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Well, kind of EDM beat style, dance pop kind of thing, to something which is now in a swing beat. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, triplet beat going on. Little bells, little jolly sounds. They didn't need to do that, but they did it, and it worked, because when the chorus does eventually come in, it's so much harder. And that's brilliant. I really like that. To be honest, the only thing that I would actually say probably didn't work for me about this song is I think that that main refrain that were at the end, it got a bit long in the tooth. I think that at the end of the chorus, the final chorus, they should have just left it and finished it, leaving you wanting more. But I think they went for the anthemic thing of keeping the, I think they kept that going. I can imagine that working live, but in the case of the record, I felt like it was a bit too much. That started getting a bit long in the tooth. Rather than being catchy, that bit started to get a little bit like, okay, So that bit, I think they could have ended after the last chorus, they could have ended it a little bit more suddenly. But, I'm willing to sort of I'm willing to hold up my hands and say that is a minor gripe. That is a minor gripe for a song that otherwise was super catchy, super fun. I had a lot of fun with this. I genuinely had a lot of fun with this. It's got 500,000 likes. It's crazy. They got this video has more than 100 times more likes than I've got subscribers. That's wild. If everyone who likes this video watched my reaction, I'd actually have some viewers. But you're here, and I love you for being here. This was great fun. I actually, this is definitely something that I would come back and listen to this again, just because it was straight fun pop, and it did manage to deliver a bridge that, again, that bridge really made the difference for me. Because if it hadn't done that little weird sidestep, it would have been a song that maybe, just maybe would have been a little bit too... so many good things about it, but maybe just not memorable enough. But that, the last chorus has to be something great. And in a dance pop song, the last chorus is often pretty much the same as all the choruses before. But by winding back the string, by taking us totally out of what we were listening to before, out of the rhythm that we were listening to before, and sort of moving us to one side and making us do a little for a few seconds, it just meant that when the last chorus came in, because we knew it was coming, but when it came in, it felt so much more powerful. Great writing technique, simple, nice little thing to take a song and elevate it. The song itself had some cool stuff. The bass was mainly just octaves, but had those weird, really cool little slide synth, woo, little bits in there. This was cool. This is a great example of how to make simple, but do something simple from the perspective of a band who clearly have a good high threshold for quality. I enjoyed this. I really did, actually. So I'd be intrigued to know. And again, like I say, it's one of those songs where halfway through I thought, solid banker dance single. But by the end, I was like, yeah, do you know what? I enjoyed that much more than I expected. So let me know what you think in the comment, guys. I am much, much, much more interested to read your comments than you might know. Let me know what album you want me to check out. I do think something around this period of like 6 or 8 years ago seems to be the sweet spot where I'm getting the most enjoyment, but maybe I'm already listening to all the songs. Maybe I'm already eating up all the material. So let's get into that album, listen track by track thing ASAP. And until I hopefully see you very soon in the comments or in the next one of these videos, until then, for now, ciao, ciao.